growth happens when training gets difficult. So if you're ever working on your forms and you find it very easy, the brain switches off because it doesn't have to work on it. It doesn't have to react because it already finds it easy. But if you find something just slightly difficult or slightly challenging, then you know you have to concentrate that much harder. So for example, I can give you two students, one who finds things difficult from the word go, and two who can pick things up just like that. Guess which one you think is more likely to give up or quit first? Not what you think. It's actually the one who can pick things up just like that. And the reason for that is when the student who can pick things up in one go, you know, you only have to show them a form once, you only have to show them a technique once, and they pick it up really easy. But as soon as they find any of their training challenging, as soon as they get to a reasonable level where they think this is hard work, instead of them realizing it's hard work, they mistake it for, I'm bored now. I don't want to do this anymore. This is not for me. And actually, it's not because it's boring. It's because they're finally getting to a point in their training where they're finding it challenging, but they don't recognize it as being challenging. They're so used to picking things up in one go that they don't have to work at it. But then as soon as you start progressing and working up the ladder, as soon as they feel that feeling of, ooh, actually, this is a little bit challenging, they see it as, I'm bored. I don't want to do it now. And then, of course, you've got the student who found it difficult and challenging from the word go. And because they always felt like that, there's no surprises. They know they always had to work on it. They know they found it challenging. They know they found it hard work. So nothing changes for them. And you find they're the students that go further. And this is when mistakes become learning opportunities. Because, of course, it's only until you make a mistake you can learn from it. But when we talk about mistakes, it's not about whether you're doing it right or wrong. It's always correct. Now, remember that. It's always correct. The minute you walk into the dojo, you are doing it correct. Out of a scale from 0 to 100, what point does it make it correct? At 1? At 50%? It's at 0. It's as soon as you walk into the dojo, you're already doing it correct. We're just making it more and more correct. We're making it righter. We're making it more righter. The only reason you feel like you're doing it wrong is you compare yourself to other people around you. I can't do what that person's doing. No, of course you can't. They've been doing it longer. But it doesn't mean what you're doing is wrong. What you're doing is correct. They've just been doing it a little bit longer. That they're correct is more correct. You see what I mean? So when you work on something and you find it challenging, then what we do is we tweak it. We make it better. We improve on it, but it's always correct. We're just making it more correct. Confidence comes from also overcoming challenges. So if you know you come across something, you think, this is very difficult, I don't know if I'm going to do this, then it comes back to what I was originally talking about. Focus, concentrate, take your time, one step at a time. And then if you work on something that's difficult and what feels difficult then becomes easy, it's a great sense of achievement and satisfaction. If you think about a scale, thinking of this is easy and this is difficult, if you work at the level that feels difficult and working at a level that makes you feel a little uncomfortable, then that difficult becomes a little bit easier. So then what does that now feel like? Very, very easy. So that's how you progress, and also you feel more confident in yourself because you know you've moved to the next step up. Teamwork helps support students and learn. So when you do find something challenging, you might be partnered off with a student who doesn't find it challenging. That doesn't necessarily mean your skill level is better than theirs. It's different. We all have our quirks. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. So you might find you can pick up something really well, naturally, and struggle with something else. And it could be vice versa with the student you're working with. But then you learn from each other. You help each other progress. You help each other become more confident. You help each other train your mind and develop. And progress is earned through consistent effort. I can say all these things and you can do all these things, but if you don't do it regular enough, how can you progress? It's like someone picking up a guitar for the first time and saying, after one lesson, I can't do it. Well, of course you can't, but it's still correct. So remember what I just said earlier. So you've got to start somewhere. And if you're regularly training, if you're coming to your classes regular, if you're practicing your forms at home regular, you've also got our online videos, then you will get better. There is no doubt about it. But it's regular training. And we have 4 rules in our dojo. And rule number 1 is practice every day. not practice once in a while, not practice sometimes. And deep down, if you think about it, you probably know yourself when you're struggling in places. And I guarantee a lot of the time it's probably because you could practice a little bit more. And the last thing, the biggest growth is not just in technique, but it's in character building. So you're developing all your skills, you're developing your knowledge, but you are also improving on your character. You're becoming a better person. You're becoming a wiser person, hopefully. So if you're more confident and you're more focused, you've got a calmer mind, your character is developing. Your character is improving. You are becoming better as a person. So I hope that helps, and don't shy away from challenging training. Remember, that is the magic moment. When you find it challenging, that's where you can grow. That's where you can develop. So enjoy the ride.